Hi everybody, welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna. Let's get up and get moving. We're going to start with our warm-up. Today all you need is your TheraBand and a chair. And I am going to use my water bottle as a prop for one of the exercises as well. So you can use a water bottle or a soup can or anything that has a little bit of weight to it. If you don't want any weight, you can do the exercise without any weight. Or even if you have something around like a pillow or a cushion, we're going to be holding it with our feet for that exercise later on. So, like I said, my name is Anna. Welcome to Fit for Life. I'm an exercise specialist, kinesiologist for the Aspen Primary Care Network here in Westlock. We used to do this class in person at the Spirit Center in town, but while we can't get together in person, we're doing our best to stay motivated and stay moving from the safety of our own homes. So while you're doing these exercises at home, keep in mind that it is at your own risk. The Aspen PCN is not liable for any kind of injuries or damages that can be incurred during participation with this video. So please be safe while you're exercising at home. Every exercise is not for everyone. If something's not quite feeling right, if you're having troubles, anything like that, just sit down, take a break, have a drink of water, wait for the next exercise. That is okay. You make sure safety comes first. My number one rule, of course, is that no one falls. So, we're gonna get those knees nice and high. For our warm-up, we're just working on increasing that breath here, getting the blood flowing and feeling good. Okay, let's switch to our polka. Nice from one toe to the other. Nice little bounce here. Feels good to just get our bodies moving. Oh, I'm going to try and stay on time today. Keep going with your polka. Nice and light on the toes. Good little dance warm up here. Good. All right, let's do our hip swings. Nice and loose in through the hip. You might be able to do a nice big swing. You might be a little smaller in your swing. That's okay. Wherever you're comfortable here, just getting those joints moving. Let's do the other side. Nice and loose through the hip. Okay. Nice and gentle here. Bigger swing, you can do a smaller swing too. That's okay. All right, let's do our arm circles. Starting small, getting bigger. Nice big arm circles. And getting smaller again. And then changing directions. Nice big swimmer's shoulders here. And getting smaller again. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with our monster walks today. I'm actually going to add a band to my monster walk, so you can try this out if you want, or you can do this exercise without a band as well. It's still tough. If you are adding a band, bring your feet together and make a nice little tie here. And then I'm going to, for the monster walk, remember, we're coming down into kind of this little bit of a semi-squat. Remembering when we do our squat that we're sticking our butt out the back. We're not coming down like this. That's going to hurt my knees. We're coming down into a nice squat. All right, like we're aiming for a chair, and we're going to Come to the side and just touch. Come to the side and touch. Staying nice and low. The lower we stay, the harder it is. Side and touch. If you come up just a little bit, it's going to make it a bit easier, okay? Try and stay in that nice low monster crouch. I'll give you guys a side view here. Side and touch and away. Whoop, and try not to dip over. Okay, my balance is off today. And touch. Okay, seeing how we're staying in this nice squat where we're aiming for the chair. Okay, nice work for the legs there. Next one we're going to do is our bird dogs. So this exercise is traditionally done on the floor in a nice tabletop position. We can modify that though to use a chair. A lot of people, it's a simple modification, doesn't take much, but people don't think about it. We can still do the same exercise. We're gonna come into tabletop position. See how nice and straight my back is? I'm gonna do my best to keep that back nice and straight. Bringing an arm out to the front, and the opposite leg comes out the back. Keeping those hips nice and square to the floor. Hold and breathe. And let's do the other side. If it is too hard for you to do the arm and the leg, just do the arm. And then come on down and then try out the leg. All right, nice and flat in through the back. If you can do both of them, that's great. Let's switch. Coming on out. Try and stay nice and flat through the back. We're not twisting out like that, okay? You're staying nice and flat. All right, other side. Extend, hold, breathe. It's really important. And good. Okay, we're gonna blast on to the next one. We're gonna do our hip hikes here. So holding onto your chair for balance for this one. You're gonna come onto one foot. Now, if you feel very unsteady coming onto one foot, you can just keep your toe on the floor for this and still do this exercise. We're drawing this hip up towards the shoulder. So up and relax. Okay, I do find it easier when we're on one foot, but if the balance issue is too distracting for you, keep that toe on the floor. We're hiking the hip and slowly down. Hike that hip. I'm not putting weight on this toe. It's simply down for balance. Drawing that hip up and down. This standing leg is having to do a lot of work here. You should be starting to feel some of that muscle fatigue in through there. And let's do one last one and switch to the other side. Remembering our rules for intensity are always the same. The first few repetitions should feel pretty easy. The last few repetitions should feel some of that muscle fatigue, some of that burn, that muscle burn. That's okay. I had a question the other day. Somebody asked, well, am I going to be sore afterwards? Is that okay if I'm a little sore afterwards? Delayed onset of muscle soreness is a normal thing that happens when we exercise and when we challenge the muscles to grow and get stronger. I tell people muscle soreness, some mild discomfort is normal for up to 2 days afterwards. If it's lasting longer than 2 days, if you're still really sore for 3, 4, 5 days after, obviously you did a little bit too much and it's time to take it down again. Next one we're going to do is our heel toe raises. So up on the tippy toes, Bringing those toes up towards you, trying not to stick out your bottom while you're doing that. Nice and straight through the hips while we go up on the tiptoes and bring the toes up towards us, activating the calves. Good job. Okay. Good activation here. Okay. Good. I'm going to pull my band out again for the chair squats because that's my latest favorite way to do a squat is with the band. I do like to have the chair here to aim for because I find it keeps our form so much better. I'll show you guys exactly what happens here. So I'm taking my band again. I'm going to loop it just above the knees. So bring your knees together. Loop that band just above the knee. Get a little bit of tension on there. Make a nice little tie. All right, and then I'm going to get into my squat position. So my feet are going to be a little bit wider than hip width apart. I have to work against the resistance of the band to keep my knees nicely stacked over top of my ankles. What happens then is I activate my feet when this happens compared to when I stand normally. My feet, you can't see them right now because I'm wearing shoes, but my feet are kind of collapsed inward and my ankles are collapsed inward and even my knees are falling in right now. So I'm going to activate the glutes here, bring the knees out, nice and strong, and I'm going to aim for my chair, do a nice squat, all right? And if you have knee pain, and if it hurts you to go all the way down to the chair, just come into a quarter squat. That's fine, all right? We're still getting a lot of strength going on in the legs. We're still getting really nice activation in through the side of the glutes. I'm still having great form because I'm still aiming for that chair. But if you get down to this point and it hurts, stay away from that point. That's okay. We can still get a lot of benefits from this exercise and build good leg strength, staying in a pain-free range. Stand up all the way. See how we've got nice coordination between coming down and standing up. All right? We're not leading up with the butt or anything like that. It's all happening together. And the more we practice, the better it gets. All right? You can do the quarter squat. You can do a sit to stand with this band. Just make sure that your knees stay nicely apart, or you can do that full chair squat. All right? I really like adding in the band. Does such good things for the side of our hips, and we know how much I like to activate that gluteus medius on the side there. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to use my water bottle. I'm going to take a drink because that's important. Most of us are not drinking enough water in the day, especially, I mean, the weather's getting better, but I know in the winter I tend to just drink coffee all day long. But we should be drinking more water. We're gonna do some work with our water bottle now, though. I'm going to be sitting back in my chair nicely. I'll do a side view for you guys here. And I'm going to pick up that water bottle with my feet. So I'm going to have to squeeze a little bit to hold onto that water bottle. And then I'm going to lift the water bottle off the floor. So I'm in the end ranges of knee extension here. I'm having to activate this inner thigh a little bit, as well as the quad muscles, those big knee extenders. Hold, slowly back down. All right? of course, can be made a little more difficult if you have hand weights at home and you want to grab something a little bit heavier for a bit more of a challenge for those knees. That's okay. This is a really nice little exercise to do. Really good. Slow down and control that release. Okay. Perfect. Couple more. We're starting to feel a bit of fatigue in here. And last one. Okay. Take a quick drink before you put your water bottle away. And we're going to get into our strengthening here. First, we're going to start out with our row. I like to sit a little further forward in the chair here. Band around my feet. Nice straight posture here for this one. And we're going to row our boat nicely back. Control the release with that band. Squeezing those shoulder blades together and making sure that your shoulders are not hiking up towards your ears. We're not doing this, and we're not falling into this kind of whole thing that we're tempted to do. Nice straight posture. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. This is a back exercise. This is not, my arms are not my main target here. I mean, they're obviously working as well, but I really want to get those shoulder blades squeezing together here as I pull back and controlling the release always with these bands. Okay, couple more. And last one. All right, opposite of the row is the press. I take that band, bring it behind me here. I like to tuck it under my arms so it doesn't roll up and smack me in the head. And we're going to start nice and close into the chest and pushing out. Slowly back. Nice press. Good control. Okay. Controlled release. Straight lines out from the armpits. I'm not coming out or anything like that. If you have a hard time with this, you could do one arm at a time. Nothing wrong with that. And if you can, do that nice little chest press. Controlled release. Nice and tall, making sure that your back posture stays good here and you're not curling forward to push away from you like that, okay? Nice, good posture here. The shoulders stay down, away from your ears. They tend to want to creep up towards our ears. Okay, good job. We're going to do our bicep curls next. Good basic strengthening here. You can't go wrong with these guys. I'm going to put that band under my feet. My arms are starting nice and straight, and I'm going to keep those elbows tucked as I curl up towards me. Nice bicep curl here. If you find that you start to strain in your back when you're doing this, just try one arm at a time. Nothing wrong with that. Slow release. Keep those elbows tucked. I don't want to see this happening where those elbows drift forward. We've got a lot of movement going on at the shoulder when you do this, and this should just be movement at the elbow. Okay. Little bit of rotation with the forearms. I start with the palms facing my sides, and I end with the palms rotating up to face towards my front. Little tiny bit of rotation happening there. Good. All right, for the triceps, we're going to isolate one arm at a time for this one. A lot of people do this with the band looped over the doorway or something like that, but I like being able to just do it here in our regular seat. So I'm going to take the band in one hand, anchor it across to my other shoulder, hold on a nice high grip, and press down. Nice and slow and controlled, just like that bicep curl was. This is the exact opposite. Make sure that shoulder is nicely down and it's not hiked up towards your ear. Good posture. Press down, slowly back. Okay, you'll get a side view on the next one here right away. Let's switch sides. So holding the band in my other hand now, anchor to the other shoulder, nice high grip on the band, and keeping that elbow tucked, we're going to extend and slowly come back. Okay, nice elbow extension. Really control that release. You don't want to be springing back. If we're just bouncing it like this, we are not getting the same strength benefit. You can put yourself at risk for injury when you're exercising like that as well, and we definitely don't want that to happen. Okay. All right. Good job. So that's it for the bands. We're going to move on to our core work. Some good old flutter kicks today. Again, thinking when you're doing these core exercises, if they seem too difficult for you, try sitting a little bit further back in your chair. You can even do these supported by your chair. If you are able to come off the back, come forward a little bit, tiny bit of a semi-recline, that's fine. So we're doing the flutter kicks and doing this full version of semi-recline and going like that. If that's too hard, maybe back it on up, and you can even try just doing a single leg lift. And that's kind of our starting point, and that's okay. Everybody's starting at a different spot, okay? If you can, sitting on forward in your seat, nice engagement of your core, semi-recline, and squeeze those cheeks, that's gonna help, and a nice flutter here. Remembering to breathe, especially when we're doing these abdominal exercises. I like to kind of keep a hand on my tummy here to make sure it's not going anywhere. Try slowing it down. That makes it harder. Try going crisscross. A little different. Remember to breathe. Again, if that's too tough, bring it on back. Do a modified version. Be supported by your chair. If you can do a little bit of lift here, that's a great flutter right there. If you can, just bring a knee up, one at a time. That is a lot of work in through the front abdominals as well. We can do a lot of abdominal engagement before we get to this tougher version, okay? Really make sure you remember to breathe. Check your shoulders. Are they crunched up by your ears? Are they nice and relaxed? Are you well engaged, or are you curled through the back? Okay, lots of different things to think about with those abdominal exercises. Let's do some balance. Come on up. We're going to start in our tandem stand. As always, we're checking in to see how this line feels. So tandem means standing heel to toe on a nice straight line. And just slow down that breath and see how it feels. Do you need the support of your chair? I really like doing balance exercises in the kitchen because the kitchen counter is such a nice height. Are you sticking your butt out when we're here? Or are you able to play around with the hip positioning, play around with your weight distribution from the front foot to the back foot. That's okay. Switch feet. If you are relying on the chair or on the counter for balance, try and see if you can do less and less fingers on there. So less and less support. That way we're still getting some support, but it's a nice way to kind of graduate to that no support. All right? And playing around with the hips and with the weight. Okay. Now, for our one leg stand today, we're going to add in a little bit of movement and a little bit of breath. So we're going to come on to one foot. Now, as usual, when we come onto one foot, I want you to check on a few different things. How grounded are you through your foot? Are your four corners of the foot planted? That base of the big toe should be nicely planted on the floor. And then check your knee, check your leg, is it nice and soft? And check your hips. Are you sagged through the hips or are you straight and activated through the hips? Now, we're going to place our hands on our chest. If you need the support from the chair, just do this with one hand. If you're able to do it with both hands, try it with both hands. All right? We're going to inhale, open to the side, exhale, come back. Inhale, open and look at your hand. Exhale, coming back. Inhale. Okay, so we're going to try that on the other foot now. We should be able to get into it a little bit quicker. But it is really nice to work on these exercises that require a bit of strength, a bit of coordination. Breathing is so important, and we get into bad habits where we forget to do that, especially when we're concentrating on something else like exercise or stretches or something, right? So let's get onto one foot here. Plant that foot nicely, making sure the base of the big toe is planted. Checking your legs. Are your legs soft? Checking your hips. Are they engaged well? Or are you sagged? Are you nicely activated through that gluteus medius? Hands on the chest. If you need the support, that's fine. Or you can just always put a foot down. That's okay. Inhale, coming open. Exhale, come back. Try and follow with your gaze. Inhale, opening up. Follow with the gaze. Exhale. Coming on back. Oh, see, I'm a little bit off today. Again, we're going to do inhale, open. Slowly back. Inhale. And it's hard. Feel how much that foot has to work, this leg has to work, the hips have to work, and it's difficult when we're changing the gaze as well, okay? Let's stretch out our calves before we sit down for the last of the stretches. Bring that heel behind you. I like to keep that heel planted as good as you can, and then knee is pretty straight and leaning into this front leg. I've got my chair here that I'm using to push into a bit. Nice stretch in through the back of the calf here. All right. And the other side. One side might feel tighter than the other. Totally normal. Nice bend in the front leg, that back leg, that heel is pushing down into the floor. And the other side, nice stretch. We're never bouncing our stretches. We're not getting ready for a football game. We're just going to that gentle hold. Other side, gentle pull, and hold nicely. 20 to 30 seconds, repeating 2 to 3 times on each side. Sometimes we go a little bit faster than that in the video here, but that's mostly for our class time's sake. If you're doing a stretch at home that you find really helps you, longer and slower is definitely better. Okay, we're going to stretch out our neck, so you can bring that hand behind your back, guide that ear over towards the shoulder. You don't have to use that other hand if you don't want. Other side. Most of our heads are pretty heavy, but it is nice sometimes to just guide it over a little bit. Other side. Really nice stretch here. Other side. Good. We're going to stretch out that smaller muscle in our neck today, that levator scapula. So instead of putting the hand behind our back now, we're going to put it on our shoulder, turning the nose away from that side, tucking down towards the armpit, and then just kind of tilting the back of your head down a bit. Give that nose a bit of a wiggle and see where you feel the stretch best. This muscle is so very often tight and the cause of a lot of tension headaches. Other hand on the shoulder, turn the nose away, tucking down towards the armpit. Other side, hand on the shoulder, turning away, tucking on down. And on the other side, hand on the shoulder, turning away, tucking on down. All right, I'm going to do a nice little twist here. I really use the back of my chair to help pull me over, and I'm twisting all the way from my seat to my crown. So really working on that shoulder check movement. And the other way, it's nice to practice these movements when we are in a safe place and able to do them very slow and controlled. It protects us from when we have to do these movements faster in real life. So during that shoulder check, practicing a bit of a twist every now and then is going to have you more easily able to do those movements in real life. Nice stretch. Either side here, don't fall off your chair. Good stretch. This one is such a nice morning stretch. Nice lean in through there. Let's do our glutes. So I'm modifying this. If you want to do the ankle on the knee, sitting up nice and tall, and a slight hinge forward. Really make sure that you're not curling, you're not bending your back. Here, I'm not having this kind of posture. I'm not just doing this. I am really engaged through the hips here and kind of tilting forward. We're not pressing down on this knee. It will eventually come further down the more we stretch out that glute. Now, because I hurt my knee, I have been modifying this stretch. When I do this version on this side now, I get knee pain. So I'm going to modify it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to hook the ankle over top of the knee. I'm going to pull this knee towards the opposite shoulder and go a little bit of a twist into this. My back is still very nice and straight. Trying to give you guys the full view here. And we're getting a really nice stretch in through the hip rotators still. I can feel that piriformis is having to stretch. All right. You can do either version, whichever one you like better. Okay. And I'm going to modify Find my other one again. Ankle hooked over the knee, drawing that knee towards the opposite shoulder and twisting into it a little bit. Nice straight back can sometimes be harder to maintain in this one. So if you find that you have joint pain, like in your knees or your hips or anywhere for these stretches, let's do our hamstrings. Plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinge forward. If you find that you're having joint pain with some of these stretches, talk to your doctor about a one-on-one referral to come see one of the exercise specialists here. There's so many different ways of stretching the same muscles, so it's definitely something to talk with an exercise specialist or a physio or a chiro or somebody, massage therapist, can help you find a better stretch for you. All right, with this hamstring stretch, again, making sure our posture is so good and you're sitting further forward in your chair. And we're again not curling the back. My goal is not to touch the toe here because this is coming from my back. This is not telling me anything about the hamstrings. Nice and tall and hinged at the hip. Okay, and with our last one here, plant the heel, engage the toe up towards you, sitting nice and tall, and a nice hinge. Nice pull in down through the back of the leg. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to try and keep some new videos coming up, but we are slowing down with our video production. There is now a large library here on the YouTube channel to pick from. So if you want to exercise more, all of the old videos are posted. You can go back and watch the previous ones. Go find something you haven't done before. Thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, give us a call here at the office. Drop a comment, send your carrier pigeons, anything like that. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.